Hello guys! How do you choose areas or suburb to buy a property? No one has a crystal ball, unfortunately. But with a bit of research, anyone can shortlist few candidates as the next hotspot suburb. In today's video, we are going to cover some of the most important things that you need to look at when you're doing research on a particular suburb. Number one is macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is the broader aspect of the economy that will impact the area that you're interested in at a higher level. We'll get into the details a little bit later. Number two is microeconomics. It's obviously the smaller aspect of the economy that impact the local area and the suburb in question. On point three, it will be about data and insights. We will be diving into the information available to analyze the suburb to check any particular trends. Point four will be getting the local knowledge. Acquiring local information for the area being researched and what's the best way of obtaining it. At the end though, we will also provide some resources that we use for our research. So link for the website where we actually gather our information. So make sure that you stick until the end.
I am Dan and this is my wife Inda. On this channel we'll talk about real estate mostly, but we're also going to cover other areas such as self-managed super fund, shares and ETFs, crypto and others as we produce more videos. We have created this channel so that we can share with you our learnings and experience from building wealth. And we also like to share our next steps into diversification and looking forward into getting our portfolio to our next step, which is producing a passive income and help us into financial independence. So make sure you like this video, subscribe and leave a comment below. We are not financial advisors, we are just a mom and dad investor. And what we discuss here in the channel is just general in nature and is our opinions about our own journey. So please seek professional help and guidance when you're looking for help for your own personal circumstances.
Macroeconomics are the broader aspects of the economy that will impact the area that you're purchasing, such as infrastructure project, population forecast, government policies, government spending, and industry spending. These are only the majority of the things that will actually impact the area that you're looking into. So those are the other items that you need to research and concentrate on. Infrastructure projects is such as question, are there any big project in the scope for the area? How much money is being spent on it? What's the status of the project? How many jobs in a project are creating? Once finalized, how many jobs will it support ongoing? These infrastructure projects will impact on the growth of the area. The population forecast, is it growing? How fast is it growing? In government policies, there's federal level, state level, or local government level. Is there any first home buyer grant? That would incentivize a lot of people buying, whether that's a new dwelling or an existing dwelling. Interest rate, obviously, when there is a low interest rate, that also would actually encourage a lot of people trying to buy properties in the same time as you are. Government spending, whether that's military, Centrelink, or local government. Industry spending, have a look on the major retail. Is there any plan of building a new supermarket? Is there a new Bunnings around, or even McDonald's? These big retailers, they spend a lot of money and effort into researching on future aspect of the local area.
Now we're going to look into the microeconomics. How livable is the suburb that we're looking into it? We'll now look into the most important contributors for the microeconomics. Lifestyle is a really big important ticket item. We also need to look in how family friendly the suburb is and how affluent its residents are. We also need to check the conveniencing rank because it plays a big role. And lastly, we can look at safety, communications, and some other aspects. The things that we can look at is the lifestyle. Are there restaurants, pubs? Is there proximity to water and parks? Are there any gyms and cafes around it? Because all those things can determine how livable that suburb it is. Is the suburb family friendly? Are there schools or high schools, daycares, preschools? All those things can influence a decision that a family can make into moving or not into an area. You can look into the affluence aspects as well. What type of income and jobs the people that live in there work on. How many people in that area has cars? How many people are renting versus actually buying their house in that specific suburb? Typically, areas that have people buying more than renting tend to appreciate more in value because they tend to look better after the assets than somebody that's renting. Is there a lot of public housing in that specific location? That could impact the future growth of it as well. So we also have to look into other things such as how convenient is that suburb? You have to look into transportation. Are there buses, trains, and any other means of transport, or people have to rely on their cars to move around? Are there many supermarkets around, chemists, all those things that can make life a lot more convenient? Is the crime level high or low in that specific location? The other things to look at are communications, for example. Does the area offer NBN? Does it have a good mobile coverage? Is there a sense of community in that specific suburb? So all those things can impact into the microeconomics and will definitely impact the area that you look into it. So make sure that we do a proper research on those topics.
Then you must look into some of the other data and insights to select suburbs that fit your investment criteria. Are you investing for capital growth or cash flow? Just so you know what you are looking for and you're actually putting the right metrics. For capital growth, there are a lot of criteria that you need to look into, but these are probably the most points that you need to concentrate on. The population growth forecast. What's the median price movement? What's the number of owner-occupier rate? How long does a property stays on the market? The number of the property sold, and also the stock on market. How many houses is available for sale? If you're investing for cash flow, there's two important points, which is the rental yield and the vacancy rate of a particular suburb. There are more than 15,000 suburbs in Australia. It's overwhelming. And which one are investment grade areas? If you apply some basic filter, such as if there is at least 50,000 population in the particular area, and you add another filter on high population growth forecast, you will be left with only about less than 4,000 suburbs. And that would be a good start for you to look into those suburbs.
Getting the local knowledge. So how do we get information about the area that you look into it? So the best thing to do is actually talk to a few property managers and agents. Those guys are professionals and they know their areas like no one else. So asking questions such as what's the most popular sort of type of house configuration that is available in the market and actually selling well? Is it 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, single level, double level, 2 bathrooms? All that information they can let you know and will actually give some really good insights of what sort of type of housing is probably good for you to purchase in that specific suburb. Other things that you can get from the agents is what type of people are looking into properties in those areas. Are they families? Are they retirees? Young couples? That will determine the type of housing that you should be looking to invest as well. And the other thing that you can always ask is which areas of the suburb are seen as premium and which areas are probably not seen as the more expensive ones. Sometimes houses on one side of the street are worth more than the houses on the other side, and you just need to understand those things before you start looking to housing in that specific area. The other thing that you can do is check with the local council. The local council has a lot of information to share, and you can go to their website to check most of those things, such as bushfire and flood prone areas. Those two things can impact your investment, and it's better to check them. You can also check how many DAs, development applications, have been submitted and approved for the specific area that you're looking to invest. Those things can determine if there is suddenly a big number of applications for high density or medium density apartments, for example. So you can get a good sense of what's happening in the local area just by looking at the council information. You can then go and start looking into paid applications. CoreLogic, for example, has a number of tools that you can use. I'm just gonna name a couple here. So the first one that you can use is one called Block Brief. This website can give you a lot of information. It can give you a really good idea about zoning configuration, and it also alerts to potential changes in the zoning. Another tool that they have is called Cordell Connect. This can give a lot of information and status about developments happening on a specific area. Usually developers and builders use this tool, and you can use to get some information about what type of development is being built, who is the builder, who are the sort of tradies working on it, and that can give a lot of insights for any big development happening around the area that you're looking into invest. The last thing that I want to share with you is the Australian Bureau of Statistics website. There is plenty of information in there, and it's really worthwhile spending a bit of time to check some stats about the people and about the suburb that you want to invest in.
Okay, in addition to the resources we already shared with you, here are some other great places to check for some information. For infrastructure, check out this website. That's to check the amount, status, location of all projects around Australia. Another website that is great to check is Informed Decision. So here there's a community profile. It gives you social atlas, population forecast, economic profile, and housing information. MicroEconomics is another website that is great. It provides you with all the micro data easily to read and digest. Domain and real estate, everybody loves to browse those, can offer you with an overview of the suburbs and some statistics. CoreLogic will have an RP data, which is the most popular tool and provides you with a lot of information. On top of that, you can purchase reports to specific areas with a lot of research from places like hotspotting.com.au. One application that we can highly recommend to you is Knock Knock. We are a bit biased, but this is our app and we think is great. It provides a great amount of data, insights from most of those places we mentioned before. We can rank suburbs based on your selection criteria. We can also shortlist properties for sale with potential for an upside. So it does all the work for you.
Make sure you check all the links on the description below, and you'll find a whole bunch of information that we want to share with you. You're also going to be able to check the link for our application that we just mentioned before, knockknock.today. There is also our Facebook group where you can be part of and ask questions and interact with like-minded people. There is a link for another application there called Property Bug. I curate the best articles about property that I see on a daily basis and put in there for you to have a look at. That brings to the end of the video. So make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below with your thoughts and share your ideas for future videos. Thanks, and see you soon.